What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another very special edition of the Burnout Brighter podcast. This is Mental Health Power Up, our special mini-series dedicated entirely to mental health and talking to amazing doctors and other creators out there who are making a difference to people all around the world. This episode, I am joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Destiny.
Hey.
And my wonderful co-host, Darren.
Hello.
And also, we are joined by two incredible individuals from Guardians Mental Health. We have Dr. Goku and Matthew joining us, but thank you both so much for being here. We really appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for rocking with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So before we get any deeper into the episode, this first section is going to be all about, well, the two of you. So Dr. Goku, let's start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your role with Guardians, and just kind of your path to where you are now? What made you want to get into this kind of work, and what kind of led you here?
Okay, well, it is quite an interesting story. So I'm Dr. Goku. I'm a licensed psychologist. And my journey with Guardians, way before we were known as Guardians, I had messaged Joe when we were called the Site 14 Project. They had just posted out a tweet, I think it was back in like 2017, saying the Site 14 Project is going to be doing a benefit stream to raise money for mental health awareness. And at that time, I was a doctoral student. It's like, I have a passion for games. I'm a huge nerd. This is right up my alley. So I kind of messaged them, joined the team, helped during the stream, and we kind of grew from there over these almost 4 years now.
Incredible.
Around 4 years now to what Guardians is now. So Guardians MH is a 501c3 nonprofit where we try to bring awareness and meaningful resources that are evidence-based, vetted by me and a bunch of the clinical team to make sure that it's not just a random Google search, that people can look, know that it's quality information that is applicable to what they need at that time.
That's great.
That's incredible.
That's so important because I think a lot of people just jump on Google and try to become like, I don't know, Google doctors, and then everything leads to cancer, which is not funny, but that's pretty much what happens when you, it's true. That's what happens.
I know, but I
Google.
Yeah.
But
I have a bump on my toe. It's toe cancer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Know? So I love that you're putting out this information because I think a lot of people are like maybe hesitant. I know in the Black community, going to therapy is a very hesitant thing. We don't talk about it. You don't have problems. You sleep it off, kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's great that you have this website. And I looked through some of your pamphlets and just how detailed they are and how amazing they are. And one of the ones that I just wanted to call out really quickly that kind of like hit me really hard was to write love on her arms. Was incredible. So yeah, kudos to you for doing that. And thank you for doing that. I know there's a lot of information out there, but to be able to use like gaming and nerd culture to kind of bring that to people is absolutely incredible. And I never would have thought of it. Never would have thought of it until, getting with this podcast and finding out about you guys. So yeah.
Yeah, because this has always been a passion of mine. I've been working in the field of psychology for so long, but I've studied what's called parasocial relationships. And without going too psychology nerd into it, it's mainly about the relationship we can form with someone or a character that may or may not be real, and the impact that it can have on us. So I've been studying this for so long because it has been a passion of mine since I was a kid, in terms of we've always heard, oh, video games do bad or they're going to rot your brain or whatever. And for me, my mindset was it can do good. And there's so many characters with so many stories that can do good that we need to really delve into this. And it's in the past years, and I wish I would have found all of these amazing individuals when I was doing my research that kind of have the same mindset and that are providing these same type of resources.
And that's the thing. I completely agree with you because for so long it's always been, oh, video games cause violence, right? Video games can be violent, therefore they cause violence. That's always the story, right? So to hear and to see you got that, you putting out actual verifiable, genuine information that can actually make a difference to a lot of people is something that's incredibly important. So I really, really appreciate the work that you do. And plus, I love to write Love on Her Arms from my, teen scene days from all the way back. Where I had a bunch of the shirts, I had a bunch of the merch. So seeing that collaboration for me would just warm my heart very much. So I really appreciate the work that you guys do. Matt, what about you? Yeah. What about yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you kind of link up with Guardians? What's your story?
Sure. So I'm a guy. No. So
like
no,
long walks on the beach.
I'm just somebody. I stumbled in. I was like, "Hi, you guys want help?" And they were like, "Sure." No.
It was almost like
well,
that.
kind of actually. Yes. So my name is Matt. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. So funny enough, I was at PAX East
in 2019,
right before pandemic, actually. And friend of mine, I didn't even go over to the booth. This is how horrible of a person I am. I didn't even go over to the Guardians mental health booth.
He
a friend
us.
of mine did. Yeah, I was playing Dungeons and Dragons. Leave me alone.
He was doing important things.
Yeah, I did. Which I heard from a previous podcast that somebody's character passed away in one of their games, and I'm sorry, and we can talk about that if needed.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It hurts. It still hurts. Oh, 2 weeks later.
I know it. I've had one of my characters in a long time campaign, and it stinks.
It's emotional.
But no, so we were at a friend of mine gave me the business card to Guardians Mental Health, and she was like, "Yeah, no, this sounds right up your alley." Looked at the website, looked into them, and joined the Discord server very quickly, and did the one thing that I know you're never supposed to do now: DM random people.
Slipping into people's DMs.
Yes. See, I didn't know the Discord culture before jumping in. I had no idea. So just my naive self, I was like, sure, let me just message one of the random people that I see on top. And whose name did I see? Dr. Goku. And I said, because at that time I was a LMSW, I won't go into the specifics, but I was getting my clinical license at the time. And I was like, hi, I want to help. I like you guys. And I sent over my my license. I was like, I really am a mental health professional. I swear. I sent over proof.
Went through the whole interview process and everything.
Yeah. And I remember I was at work when I sent it to you, and I was like, oh wait, I'll be right back. I have to run a group really quick. And then like an hour later, I messaged Dr. Goku again. It was super like informal and again, naive on my part. So that is how I joined at the start. And then from there, just kind of really, I don't want to say worked my way up, but just helped enough. And now I'm what they call, like, I'm one of the directors with Guardians. Helping with
congratulations.
Yeah.
Working with various programs that we're doing, but also, as you mentioned too, with the mental health kits, authoring kind of some of the stuff that goes into it, helping to curate, and like Doc said, vetting a lot of the resources that we throw into it. And that's my story in a nutshell. I also like long walks on the beach and
see. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
Moral of the story is, if anybody's looking for a job, get into the Discord server, message Matt, and he'll hook you up. Because if there's one thing I've learned from that story, is slide into people's DMs on Discord.
Just randomly message people and see what happens.
Exactly, right?
It's a shot in the dark, and you never really know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you don't. And the fact that you wanted to help, if somebody came up to me and was like, I really want to help and I believe in what you guys do, I would be totally open to that informal interview. Like, absolutely. Like, you want to help me? Hell yeah. Let's get started.
God knows we need the help. Because we've been growing.
This is us looking into your DMs right now. We want to help.
This is actually a 5-person interview.
I don't know if you knew that. Very professional.
We are So I've only been, this will be my full second year.
Third.
Third. Thank you.
20, 21, 22. So around, almost 3 years. And we've been around for almost 5.
Wow.
And we've just grown exponentially and so much more than me and Joe even thought possible. It's just these random guys saying, we're going to do some benefit streams and raise some money. It's like, we've done the raise money for others. We want to do our own thing. Why not try our own thing and registered as a nonprofit? And as Joe will say, it was a big headache with all the paperwork to become a registered nonprofit. But we didn't think we would be where we are even so fast. And this is just a testament to the support from everyone that we've had.
I think that's also a two-way street, though, right? I mean, like as much support as you may be getting, the fact that the work that you're doing is so important, and as we've seen, especially in the last few years, how fundamentally important it is to people all over who may be in a situation that they never planned to be in, or somebody who's been struggling for a long while and just doesn't know how to ask for help. To be there is something that's so important. So the growth makes sense. I think there was a lot of space for people like you to step in and be like, we care, we're nerds like you, we care about the same things you do, here's a way that we can help that matters to you, right?
Yeah.
As you can see, the shelves that are in front of me but behind me.
Right.
I saw your massive Goku statue. I have a huge Astro Boy. You can't see. I have 2, and they're like up there, so I'm super nerdy too.
Yeah, I have 4 Gokus there. I have the regular one, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan God, and Super Saiyan Blue.
2 more Astro Boys. Like, but I
gotta get my boy Team Gohan now.
Forget Goku. I'm looking at the Samus Figma. That's what I'm looking at over there.
Oh,
yeah,
that's true.
over there. Yeah, and I have the Link right next to him, and the Mega Man X, which is my favorite game of all time. And you can't really see me behind there, but I'm just building a new display. I showed Matt and Joe the other day of all of the live action Batmobiles.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
So it's just
very,
behind
very
me there.
cool.
I have 6 of them now in a small little display case. And
oh my god,
I'm a big nerd.
I'm a little jealous. I love Batman. I do.
I know.
Shut up. What?
What do you do about Batman? I didn't mean that in any other.
I don't know. It's just like,
I didn't mean it no way.
Taste.
Anyways,
okay? moving on.
Dr. Goku, let's swing back around to you. Can you tell us a little bit more about how does Guardians operate? What kind of stuff are you putting out there? We mentioned the mental health awareness kits. We mentioned the different things that you do. Tell us a little bit more about the kits and about the different programs that Guardians offers.
So our fundamental thing that we started out with is our Discord, which is now a partnered peer support network. So this is the verified partnered Discord where people can join, and we've been building a community of people that want to help. So you can go there, you can talk with people. So we're, like we always say, we're not a replacement for therapy, but you know that you can go somewhere that you can have someone that you can talk with. So peers that you can talk with. And we also have our mod team that we're always growing, that we're helping train in like mental health first aid, some psych armor trainings, and me and Matt and some others are working on some in-house trainings as well.
That's so cool. And your program's so well put together. Just looking at like the pamphlets and what you guys, it's so, I'm also an artist and everything looks so good. The first thing I went through was the coloring book because I didn't expect there to be a coloring book. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't wait to print some of these off. Like,
so that's a testament to some of the artists that we have in our community that have just graciously donated their art to make this coloring book. So they're all amazing.
They are. Every picture in there is like just so dope. And I love that like you took their art and you're like putting it out there to the world. Do you know what I mean? Like I never would have thought to do something like that. Even though coloring can be very calming, I just never would have, put 2 and 2 together. So you guys are like really innovative. I don't know if anybody's told you that, but it's super yeah, it's super innovative. Like everything that's going on. I have a friend who's going through some things, and I've suggested that they like look into your program and look at your kits and everything like that, because I don't think enough people know that you guys are doing what you're doing, you know. And I know you're growing, and the game industry and our culture is growing as well, it like crazy, right?
Mhm.
So whatever I can do and whatever we can do on our podcast to like spread the word, because the work you're doing is incredible, and we're probably going to say that like 10 more times.
Just
And we're gonna
shower
be
you
humble
with
each and
praise
every
the
time.
entire time.
We mean
Yeah.
it. Yes, yes.
You know, the mental health kit sort of came out almost at came out actually at around the darkest time, realistically, because we started shipping them in during the pandemic.
Yeah,
You know, the
the first
initial
couple
thought
months of the
was, hey,
pandemic.
let's create these let's create these kits and bring them to conventions, bring them to, you know, wherever we go and hand them out, and then shut down. And it's like,
Oh.
okay, what do we do now? Let's ship them. And
Mhm.
so each kit is shipped free. We don't charge. There's no shipping and handling. We ship out the kits for free. A lot of I should say most of the donations and anything that we receive goes right back into the program, into the mental health kits. And that was one of in going back to just the growth of video games during the lockdowns. Video games not only continued to flourish because that was the biggest source of not only entertainment but connection as well too.
Mhm.
Discord exploded again, Zoom, everything, Twitch as well too, just became powerhouses, and it was
Mhm.
so needed at those points. And these kids kind of followed suit a little bit. Not that I'm, you know, necessarily saying that, you know, I'm not trying to over brag, I should say, but it was one of the things that we were able
Over
to
brag,
do.
Matt.
Yeah, please.
Over
Yeah.
brag. Okay.
We're
You have
too humble
full
for our own
permission.
good sometimes. We
Yeah.
have a hard time
Abs-
taking this credit.
I am such
Yeah.
a hype person. I will not let
Mhm.
you be humble on our podcast. Trust me.
But when you're
Especially when the
mentioning
work
that-
that
Matt,
Sorry, go ahead.
those donations, every $10 donation that we receive gives someone a mental health kit.
Right.
So it takes $10 of someone donating to provide someone with a mental health kit.
That's amazing. That's just
I wanted to say, Matt, I'm so sorry for cutting you off.
No, go ahead.
But that's a perfect kind of segue into, Matt, I kind of want you to explain what we're doing to help
Mhm.
raise money for this. And because we just talked about it and you brought it up, I think this is the perfect time to do it. So listeners, listen up. Matt, you're going to do it.
I know. I was just waiting to see what you were going to do. Yeah. So
I got scared for a second. I was like, I don't have a script in front of me.
Oh,
What am I supposed to be doing?
Sorry.
Didn't you study for the
I
test,
just wanted to see
Matt?
what was going to happen.
It's pop
I'm
quiz
sorry.
today.
Did you not get the email? No.
Yeah, right?
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, so we are doing a big fundraiser, all going towards Guardians Mental Health. We'll have all the links below, but we are going to be giving away different things from Xbox Canada stuff so that we can give back to the community. There's no any of that like, subscribe, or anything to our channel. We're doing nothing like that. The only way that you can get entered into, winning anything is just donate to the fundraiser. That's our only goal for this, is just to help give back to the community, to help give back to Guardians Mental Health, because the work that they're doing is so incredibly important. And again, $10, only $10 can make sure that a kit is going into somebody's hands who needs it, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So if you're looking for a cool way to support Guardians Mental Health, please, please, please donate to the fundraiser. Again, everything's going to them, and you could win some cool stuff as well. So that's a great way for you to kind of get involved and to give back. Again, $10. It's only $10.
All it takes.
Helps make a kit for someone.
I
All
also
it
want to
takes.
say is, if you can't afford to do $10,
Mhm.
Any amount of money.
Yes.
And if you can't with the money, just share the information. Do you know what I mean? Like every little bit helps us and helps somebody else who may be struggling with something. And I know that nobody is perfect, and we've all struggled with something at some point. So if you can just share the information, even if you can only donate $1, like, we would be ever so grateful and thankful for that. So yeah.
Exactly. So let's kind of circle back around to that, because that's what I was going to ask next. So perfect segue, Destiny. Dr. Goku, I'm going to ask you, what are some of the different things that people can find in these mental health kits? Like, what was the goal? Like, what was kind of like, the plan for, these are the things that we need, these are the things we think are beneficial, and why are those things there? Can you tell us a little bit about them?
So the idea really came from Joe, and he kind of brought this idea to me because he went to the conventions and saw what a lot of what people were giving out, and he said, well, there's some stuff missing, or he felt, and kind of I felt the same way, that there is so much information there that is readily available, but that can be really confusing. One of my jobs as a psychologist is to take all of this information and make it digestible for people, because a lot of people get really kind of taken aback as to, well, what are some of the tools that I should use, and if I just read some stuff on Google, well, it can be rather confusing. So how can I break it down to like its fundamental levels to make it easily digestible? And we're kind of looking online as to what some of the other programs were and some other mental health kits, and we were kind of underwhelmed in terms of, one, some of the items that were inside, and two, at the cost of them. That we saw some that was like $100 for almost nothing. It was like, to me, and as a mental health professional, it's like, that's kind of disingenuous.
Yeah.
And kind of the amount that we're charging and for what you're going to get, saying, all right, let's make as much quality content as we can and give it out for free. Because not everyone has the luxury of seeing a mental health professional. And again, we're not a replacement for mental health professionals, and we're not a replacement for therapy. We highly, highly encourage for people to seek their own professional, and we'll help you out to find your own professional if need be, because we're just that first step.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
You're struggling. Let's give you this stuff to just keep your head out of water so you can go see that professional and then go on that journey. So it kind of came down to, all right, what are some of the essentials that people would need? So let me just grab a kit.
Yeah.
So we have 4 of them. So 2 of them are going to be mainly in conventions. So the To Write Love on Her Arms Suicide Prevention Kit is going to be at conventions. We have the Neurodivergent Kit that was in partnership with Social Cipher, that has a game where the main protagonist is autistic.
Okay.
Very
incredible.
And then we have our 2 main kits. So the main mental health kit that we are actively working on retooling and reformatting everything. So a testament to our graphic design artist, iResolute. He's doing a phenomenal job to take what we have learned through the 4 iterations of the kit, because the 4th one is one for Destiny the game that we worked with Bungie Studios to kind of tailor and use some of the assets for Guardians specifically.
Wow.
So let me take out the Guardians one, because this is the most recent one with all of the newest graphics.
Love me some new graphics.
So,
Right, I know. And we're going to have the links for stuff in the chat as well. And I'm going to be putting stuff up on the video so like you guys can also see this a little bit closer as well. But yeah, please go on, Dr. Goku.
So all of the kits come in a poly bag that is designed by iRes. Within the Guardians kit, you get one of our bracelets. I don't know how NVIDIA Broadcast is going to show the bracelet. So it says "You're not alone" on it, and it has the Guardians MH logo. Our little business card with some crisis numbers here.
Right.
Amazing.
A pen
to write down your thoughts.
Yeah. Colored pencil.
Pen too.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
A card that's signed. So mine was made by Joe's daughter, Sadie.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
Because all the kits are hand assembled. We do not use a distribution center. So, and Joe has started doing.
Wow!
As you can see,
wow! Get it?
So cool.
What a perfect like pull away. That was like
I
that
know.
was immaculately performed.
It's almost
That
like
was
he set it up.
So
Man of white vibes
doing,
over here.
Some building kit building streams. So he kind of built a rig where he just streams him building kits.
That's cool.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
So promo card for Destiny the game, New Light.
Mhm.
Promo code for the game's hotline, game and online harassment hotline. A fidget item. So this is a Fidget Cube. And for the Destiny one, we made it look like Glimmer,
Nice.
Nice.
That's so cool.
which is so addicting. Just a standard journal, so you can work to write with. With this one, there's a Destiny-focused coloring book with
So
artwork
cool.
from the Destiny community. We have a exercise program made by a PE teacher.
Wow. Okay.
So I gotta
Oh
goes
my
over
god.
some of the exercises here.
I wouldn't
That
even
is so
thought to get
cool.
one of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
And then we just have our standard Guardians MH pamphlet, and it
Mhm.
also has a self-care plan inside in terms of what's important to take care of yourself or some of the elements that's important. I often talk about what's called the 4 pillars, and I know I'm a broken record, and Matt's heard me talk about this all the time. So mainly sleep, nutrition, hydration, and social interactions. And we can tie in exercise in there as well, but the 4 main ones: sleep, nutrition, hydration, and social interactions. If we tend to have one or more of these pillars that are not as solid, we tend to be more fragile.
Absolutely.
So it kind of we build from the ground up, so making sure that these pillars are as solid as we can.
I love that. I love that.
I
And
had
kept
a question,
Yeah,
Matt.
Sure.
Okay, so my question was to Matt. Since joining, how where do you kind of want to see this go, and what have you seen that's been like just so incredible that like you didn't expect yourself coming in? Because of course, like you came in before it started, so I'm kind of curious about how it is working for Goku and the organization, and like just your takeaway from it.
So, oh my god, I love this question. Actually, it's not the first time I've had this. So a
I'm
couple
listening.
things before I came in. I was always an avid Destiny player, but I couldn't find a group. I was in a few clans and guilds, and I just toxic to say the least. Just couldn't find it, so I dropped it. I was like, all right, I'm not going to play. I'll go back to World of Warcraft, which equally is sometimes
Yeah,
as
not as
toxic,
good.
but at least I had my best friend plays.
Yeah.
So, but now I play Final Fantasy.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, you got some new friends.
That's awesome. Please help a level 13 because I have no idea what I'm doing. So when stumbling upon Guardians, not only did I find this really amazing but like warm group as well, the fact that some of these things were already in motion, I was just able to kind of help and bring just another just like another level of not expertise necessarily, but just continued ideas and helping to push things along and be able to kind of use my voice in a sense to help with a lot of these things. The kits in particular, the neurodivergent kit was really one that I had a lot of fun and had a bit of a heavier hand in kind of helping and working through, working with Social Cipher, working with their professionals, making sure that the verbiage was absolutely 100% correct within these kits was super important. And even for myself, as I was going through it, I was like, well, it doesn't make sense to me. And the guy that I was working with was like, yeah, because you're not neurodivergent. I was like, well, you're absolutely correct. And it was also eye-opening for me on a sense too. Even as a mental health professional, I was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm not thinking the way that the readers are going to be thinking or reading
That's
this.
really good.
So that was
insight.
actually a labor of love, as I've called it a few times. But just being able to work with so many people, being able to work with To Write Love in Her Arms was something that if I told 13-year-old Matt, he would never believe. because I was the one running around in Warped Tour and Bamboozle, writing love on people's arms. Yes, thank you.
Me too. Oh God, yeah. Sorry,
and
go
both
on.
your names are Matt. It's like
Right?
Yes, this is a connection waiting to happen. So when that happened, I was like, what? Excuse me? What? No. And just being able to work and talk and see what they were doing combine on such a very sensitive but needed topic to discuss about, it was just incredible. And we're just continuing to grow and work and do more of that. I love connecting. I love collaborating with other professionals because I've said it before. Yeah, I'm a professional, but I'm not a professional in everything, right? I have my own set of specialty, but I'm also my example that I use a lot is I've never had the opportunity or the knowledge of working with veterans. So how am I going to sit here and give resources to veterans? I rather go to the pros.
Right.
So I love working with other people to make sure that we have all of this right information.
It's like what you mentioned,
and
Matt,
not use
we are
Google, as we've been
not
saying here.
a one-stop shop.
Right, exactly.
If we don't have that information, we have absolutely no problem to refer you to the resource or the organization that does have that special information.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible. I feel like what I'm taking away from this is that it's also been a great learning experience for you since you've joined. Like, you've learned so much, you've gotten to connect with so many different people, and the experience overall has just been absolutely incredible. And just hearing your stories, I feel like, Goku, you've created not only an organization that's helping people, but you've created a kind of family. You know, I can tell that, like, the people that you work with are like, you're all passionate about the same thing. You're all helping each other out. It's all the positives of what you would want a family to be. And congratulations on that, because that's really incredible to, like, love your job and love the people that you're working with so much that you give so much of yourself and so much of your time. The fact that you're putting these kits together and, like, and the little card that was signed, that was so cute. Oh my God, that was so adorable. Yeah, I don't know. You guys just shout out to Sadie. Like, just play this little part where we're all like, Sadie.
I'm sure she's gonna love that.
She's awesome, and she's the greatest at, photo bombing in Joe's streams. It's fantastic.
That makes me so happy to hear. Yes, no, Destiny, I think you hit it on the nail on the head. The work that Guardians does and will continue to do is so special, and a big part of it is the people who we get to. I consider myself very lucky to be able to connect with the both of you, just because of the incredible work that you do. And I know how much of this podcast has, for the three of us, been a place of therapy, a place of connection, a place of, letting us kind of vent while also talk about things. So to be able to kind of connect with you in a really fundamental way is incredible. So the last section that I wanted to bring up before we kind of close out here, and Dr. Goku, I'll throw back to you here. We always like to ask our guests on the main podcast talking about a game that matters to them, and we're going to kind of open it up a little bit, but just a piece of media that matters to you, whether it be a specific game, an anime, a movie, or a TV show, or whatever else that has gotten you through a tough time, or has been there for you in a way that you feel should be celebrated and deserves to be talked about. So Dr. Goku, can I ask you, what's a piece of media that matters to you?
Oh, there's so many. It's hard to pick just one.
Give us a few. It's totally fine.
I can think of a few. Again, my love for Mega Man is going to be eternal. So I like the old school 8-bit Mega Man, but for me, Mega Man X on Super Nintendo is just so good.
I'm a Battle Network guy myself.
Oh, okay. I love Battle Network.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
But Ocarina of Time was a big game for me because I was in middle school when it came out, so I'm showing my age. So yeah, I'm that old.
25?
35.
Very young, 25. No, 25.
25.
But Ocarina of Time just came out at a time where I think I needed it because I had some health issues at that time. So I was kind of home a lot, and my parents worked, and I'm an only child. So what do? So you play video games. And I was playing Ocarina of Time on repeat and always using our VCR and kind of plugging it in a way where I could record my gameplay on the VCR. It's like old school
Interesting.
streaming on a VCR.
Wow.
Okay, that's what's
'Cause
up.
I like to watch the old school, not even before G4, of people like showing gameplay. It's like, I'm going to rewatch myself play games, and I just got so good at playing Ocarina of Time where I could 100% it within under a day.
Incredible.
Nice.
So that was a big game for me. But my love, again, with parasocial relationships and kind of the research that I did, came with fictional characters, and one of them for me was Spider-Man.
Matt loves Spider-Man.
My favorite.
So for me, Spider-Man had, because again, I was kid and a teen, and Peter Parker being a teen, kind of going through these difficulties and this great power, but being a teen, and the anxiety that he had and all of the screw ups made me feel that it was okay to screw up,
Right.
that I could kind of fix it somehow in the end, that you didn't need to be perfect.
That's a good lesson to walk away with.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, amazing.
And- Yeah, because
Sorry,
when
go
I
on.
went to my my thesis supervisor, so back in my undergrad, I came up with like this opening spiel as to this is what I want to do for the research, and I had this statement of, a lot of people say, what would Jesus do? All right, but how about what would Spider-Man do?
I remember when that was so huge with all the bracelets and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
what would
okay,
Spider-Man do?
I can see that.
Yeah.
And it
Oh.
took on like a 10 or 11 year research project.
Wow.
Wow.
That is
I just want to
incredible.
know, did you get like an amazing grade on this paper? Like, was your thesis like, was it great? Like, did they love it?
It was very out of the box, so a lot of the professors weren't too sure. And
Uh-huh.
again, I didn't get like super statistical significant results, but it kind of showed the trend. And the research I did is parasocial relationships and their impact on pro-social behaviors. So if you have a high level of attachment to a character, would it make you more apt to do pro-social behaviors, like nice behaviors, to help someone else just because?
I like that.
And it showed that trend of the higher your parasocial link, the more you would be apt to provide pro-social behaviors.
I'm really
love
glad
that.
that you took that on. Yeah. And
Yep.
I wish teachers would encourage more out of the box thinking, because I
Mhm.
feel like that's what pushes us to change and evolve as humans, you know? So I'm really glad that you stuck to your guns and that you did that. Absolutely.
Agreed. And that's
Yeah,
such.
I was the black sheep of the school.
But
So everyone was doing
it's
like
okay.
these things, and I was over here in my little corner.
But that's exactly what Spider-Man would have done. So I appreciate that you honored that. Matt, what about yourself? What's a piece of media that matters to you?
Man, I'm literally racking my brain here because there's so many. I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna
Please.
go Gambit comic books when I was a kid.
Are we talking
Um,
Gambit from Marvel or who
From
are we
X,
talking-
yeah, from Marvel.
Oh
from
my
X-Men.
god. I love him.
You've hit a
Him and
very
Rogue's
specific nerve.
relationship, Yes. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
And one of the reasons why was because, and I'm talking, I was a kid. My uncle used to get the comics for me, and I would read. I wanted to be as cool as Gambit. He
so
was smooth
cool.
talking. He was just this amazing person, and he had this love of he had this love relationship with Rogue, but they couldn't be physically. It was just so on a level just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It was so deep. You know what I
yes.
mean? It was so deep. The fact that
And
like
there
you
was-
can't touch the person you love.
Yes.
Matt,
And
me
as
and
like,
you.
and I'm talking like, and I'm 12 and 13 too, and I'm like, I'm
Right?
reading this, and I'm like, this. As a 13, I'm like, this is true love. He loves her for
Right.
her. Like this is.
Yes.
But again, just this smooth talking. I loved playing cards. Growing up, I used to play. I played Rummy with my parents almost all the time, so I loved playing cards in general too. So now I have this superhero in a sense using these as weapons. It was just amazing. And so that got me through a lot of like, you know,
I'm
early
just so happy you
adolescence.
said Gambit, because I don't think I was not prepared. Thank you. Made my night.
Speaking of Gambit, Matt, I don't know if you were listening to, again, we're going way back in the GMH podcast. I did a character breakdown of
You
Gambit.
did the character, yes.
Did you listen to that episode?
And it's amazing. And we need to bring that back.
Yes, and could you possibly email me that so I can listen to it? Thank you.
Yes. The other piece of media really that has just been a staple with me has always been Pokemon. I am that guy. I don't care how old I am. I don't care how many there are. I will still play the game. You know, there's been a lot of love-hate recently, but I'm the guy. They can remake as much as they want. I will buy it. I will be the person that drops the money and pick it up because it's just been such an integral part of my life growing up.
I legit think
Pokemon was
soulmates.
just the way that it was
You both
built.
of you are such a weird amalgam of Destiny and Matt that I'm just like I'm trying so hard to not just break down laughing at every single thing that is said. Like the Pokemon and Mega Man.
I'm gonna catch them all,
Gambit and
regardless.
Spider-Man.
Doesn't matter.
But you were saying Pokemon. I remember when Pokemon came out. I had Blue on the original Game Boy.
Yep.
You got red right up there.
So to me, it was red and started with Charmander.
Yes,
that was my starter. And I remember my best friend got Blue just because I got the red, so we could change and we could trade. And I remember playing Pokemon at school because, again, I'm super nerd. And the middle school that I went to, one of our professors built a modeled or scaled model of a actual space shuttle that actually somewhat worked. It was great.
That's wild.
Where we actually had like science camp and we became astronauts and we went on 24-hour missions. That's a discussion for a whole nother thing. But we would just go into the cargo bay and play Pokemon during recess.
That's the greatest thing.
I love that because
I'll
never forget a quick side story before we wrap here. But similar with me, I would bring my my Game Boy to recess, and this was back like I was in elementary school. I think I was in grade 1 or 2, and there was like a group of us that would huddle around my Game Boy and like take turns playing at lunch. And at recess, and there was a couple of the other students who didn't like Pokemon, so they were mad at us that we were just spending our recesses playing Pokemon. So they told the teachers, and they got Game Boys banned because we wouldn't want to play tag. We wanted to play Pokemon. Never forget.
I was about to say we weren't allowed to have Game Boys at my school. Like even during recess, that would have got snatched so quick.
Yeah.
You guys are lucky. Yeah.
See,
I was
in the early
Is it because
days
we're in the
when
US,
it wasn't
Matt?
taken away.
Maybe.
It might be because
Maybe.
we're in the US because they were like, nah, son. You cannot have
they were
any
like,
of
nah,
that stuff.
This isn't happening.
Because for me being so old, I was like in 6th grade when it was kind of a big thing. So
you
at that
keep
point,
dating yourself. You're not that old. Okay, 25 is not that old. I don't know what you're
Seriously.
talking about.
I mean, I also remember my parents would not let me leave the house with it. If
Yeah.
I was like they would just
Because
they'd be like, absolutely not.
yeah,
My
'cause you
parents were the
break
same
it,
too, though.
right?
Yeah, they
Drop
thought it
it.
would get
Lose it.
stolen or something. Or
yeah.
I'll never forget when I dropped my Game Boy at recess once because it was winter and we were playing King of the Hill up on the snow things, and I had my Game Boy in my pocket and it fell out during King of the Hill, and I just had to make up a reason why I had to leave class. I was like, teacher, I need to go to the bathroom, and I was like digging around in the hill trying to find my Game Boy. I found it luckily and it still worked. But anyway,
Oh my god.
right?
Oh, they were built like bricks.
They were.
It's like an
They
old school
were.
Nokia phone.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Those things were built to last. But we need to close it out. Dr. Goku, Matt, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for hanging out with us. Before we go, I'm going to come around for a quick round of links for plugs. Where can people find you? Dr. Goku, let's start with you. Anything you want to plug, any accounts, any socials, anything like that, hit us with them.
So mainly I'm on Twitter and on Discord. So on Twitter, it's SSJ5Goku28. I'm still old school gamer tag from long time ago.
Love it.
But you can find me on the Guardians MH Discord server, and sometimes on Twitch and when we do streams, and we have a bunch of things in the works in the coming months that we're going to be on Twitch and more on YouTube as well.
Nice.
So,
Incredible. Wonderful.
there.
Fantastic. Amazing. Matt, same question.
Yeah, sure. I don't use much social media, so I'll plug the Guardian stuff. Twitch.tv/GuardiansMH. On Twitter, we're GuardiansMH. Discord.gg/GuardiansMH. Just go to our website. We have tons of different programs on there as well, too. GuardiansMH.org. You can find our podcast. You can check out our ambassadors who stream with us and for us. So go check out the website. That's where all your information is, and that's where the kits will be as well.
Awesome. So we'll have all that information down below so you guys can go check it out. And really quickly, just one more time, we are going to be raising money for these kits. And please, if you can donate anything, if you can't, if you can just share the information, that would be great. We appreciate it. And again, thank you so much for coming on, Dr. Goku and Matt. And I'm telling you right now, you can come back anytime you want to our regular podcast. We can talk about Gambit more.
Spider-Man.
We can talk about Spider-Man.
Dungeons and Dragons, Final Fantasy.
We can do D&D.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Okay?
I'm down.
Yeah, I'm down as well. Let us know and we'll be there.
We have absolutely uncovered like a treasure trove of geek stuff that we're going to be talking
know.
about. We're going to have like a 6-hour podcast, and I can't wait for it. Everyone, thank you so much for checking this episode out. We'll have plenty more coming your way. There'll be a playlist below, and all the links that we are referencing again will be in the description below. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one for Team Burnout for Guardians Mental Health. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one.
Deuces.
Later.